Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another achievement guide for Everspace 2, and today we're covering Legendary Lunatic. This requires you to complete a rift at 500 Lunacy in order to unlock this achievement. So what is a rift? Let's start there. Well, this is an end game activity that is used in the game to kind of farm end game equipment. They're kind of like rifts in Diablo 3, where you can go in, you complete a short run, and at the end you get a boatload of rewards. And you can set modifiers at the start of the run in order to tweak the level of rewards that you get. So the difficulty is the Lunacy, and the higher the Lunacy, the better chance you have at getting legendary items, and the better your overall loot quality will be. You will unlock the ability to open rifts as part of the story, and you'll kind of get a taste of what a rift is in that story event, and then you can kind of revisit them anytime. But again, for completing this achievement specifically, I would suggest you wait until the end game, complete the story, and then you can still go around and clean up any achievements you have, including this one. So when you enter a rift, it is a 4-phase fight, and the first 3 phases, you enter into a zone of space, and you will have 2 bars on your screen. You're going to have a progress bar that starts at 0%. You need to build that to 100% to complete that phase. Then you'll also have a resolve meter that starts at 100% and slowly drains over time. And if that reaches 0%, your run is immediately over and you get pulled back into regular space. Thankfully, the way that you manage both bars is the same, by killing enemies. Destroying ships increases the progress bar, and it also refills the resolve bar as it's slowly dropping throughout the fight. So you need to have a ship that can destroy enemies and do so quickly. If you can only burst down a single enemy and then you need a minute to recover so you don't get destroyed or so your abilities recharge, that resolve meter is going to drop too fast and you won't be able to manage it. So DPSing quickly and consistently is one important part of the build. And then the other thing is the ships here can do a lot of damage, so you need to be able to survive and not get destroyed while you're doing all of that DPSing in order to survive and advance to the next wave. When you fill up the progress bar to 100%, the remaining enemies will jump out of the zone, and a couple of portals, usually it's 3, will open in the area around you, and you can pick which one you go into, and if you hover over them, if you point at them, you can see the affix that each of those portals provides. They're modifiers for the remaining phases of the run. And none of them are too crazy. It's usually something like enemy names will be hidden. Enemies will slowly heal over time. Enemies are EMP resistant. Those kind of things. So, pick the ones that are slightly less annoying. Healing is a little bit annoying. Enemy names missing, not that big of a deal. Enemies being 50% faster and more elusive, that's really tough because you need to be able to hit them to destroy them. The pattern then breaks. The final phase, the 4th phase of the rift, is a boss battle. It's just one capital ship that you need to destroy, and as soon as you destroy it, the rift is complete. You and your rewards get dumped back into real space where you collect them and then can kind of go through and see what you got. So completing this achievement, in my view, it's like 80-90% preparation, and then just the last little bit is actual execution. If you do everything that you can to prepare your ship properly for this rift, for this achievement, I think you'll be able to do it without too much trouble. So what do we need to do to properly prepare? Well, the first thing that I would recommend is you max out your level. As the time of this video, the level cap is 30. Get your ship to level 30 because that means you can get level 30 equipment, which is the best, has the highest numbers, will make you the most powerful that you can possibly be. On top of that, I would recommend unlocking tier 4 ships. Tareen, one of the companions, has a companion ability. When you raise it to max level, it unlocks the ability to buy tier 4 ships from the Prescott Starbase. Again, is that necessary? No, you can absolutely do this with a tier 3 ship, but why not do it anyway? It's gonna make the run better. It's gonna make your ship more powerful. In terms of the equipment that you put on the ship, you don't need to have min-max gear. You don't need to be perfect to get through this, but obviously the better your equipment, the easier time you're going to have. So think about getting pieces of a set that support your build. Get one legendary that you really like. There's one that when your shield drops, it spawns 2 hologram clones for the enemy decoys for the enemy to shoot at. I like that one because if you do get damaged, if you do lose your shield, you don't want to get immediately nuked. This kind of helps you survive those hits, recover, and even still do some damage so that you're not just constantly draining your resolve meter as you play defensively. In terms of what ship to use, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I used the Vindicator, the drone carrier. I think that is an easier choice. It lets the drones focus on doing damage while you can kind of play more defensively and fire out some supporting fire. I like a flak cannon or a thermogun. It lets you kind of put out bursts of damage that the drones kind of help with, and then you're still focusing on yourself and keeping yourself alive. But you can probably do it with any ship that you're the most comfortable in. If you like the small little zippy ship, as long as you can put some damage out in that thing, you're going to be just fine. I have 2 of the devices that I recommend for completing this run. The high pressure energized boost. So this is the boost engine, and then when you max it out, you can pick one of 3 specialties. And the high pressure means as you boost through an enemy, you do a big chunk of damage to them, and that kind of perfectly fits what we're trying to do here. The enemies are going to close in, you're doing damage at long range with a flak cannon or whatever it is. They're taking damage as they approach. They get close enough to start shooting at you, and then as you get damage to your shields, and you're like, okay, I need to get out of here, bang, you hit the boost, you boost right through them, you do a big chunk of damage, maybe you destroy them, you get clear, give yourself a minute to breathe, a minute for your shields to recharge, then you can turn around again, and they have to approach you again from long range where you're doing damage as they're approaching you and you're recovering. It's kind of a perfect fit for the goals of the rifts. The second one is the Avenger Shield Generator. The Shield Generator puts up a shield in front of your ship that is impervious to damage. It blocks all damage, but it's kind of small, so it's hard to hit all the damage on that because enemies come from a lot of different angles all at once. So you're not going to be able to block all the damage with it. But putting the Avenger upgrade on this, again, when you max out its level, reflects damage back. So as the enemy approaches you head on, they're going to shoot at you, activate the shield. You're not only stopping the damage from hitting you, you're putting more damage out at them. Again, accomplishing both of our major goals here at the same time. The other devices are fine. You can pick whatever you want. You don't have to use those 2. I just really like them. The EMP generator is great, but as I said earlier, one of the modifiers that a Rift can have is making enemies resistant to EMP. So obviously that's a bad combination. But if you don't have that, EMP is great. It disables them, makes them slow, makes them stop moving, and you can just kind of pour your fire in without having to worry about too much about aiming and adjusting and hitting a fast moving target. And so then once you've done all that, once you've got the setup, the execution is pretty easy. Start low, start at a regular 0 Lunacy run, and if you're able to blast through it, go up to 100 or go up to 200. And if you're able to blast that, slowly work your way up. But find, and if you run into trouble, back off a little bit, do a couple of runs, get some rewards, get comfortable with the process, and you'll earn some legendaries, you'll earn some upgrades for your ship until you're ready to bump up to that 500 Lunacy. It's really not that bad. Once you know how it works, once you get a feel for, oh, okay, this is how many ships spawn in, this is where they come from. I know now if I point here and I fire for 5 seconds, I can destroy that group, and then I can turn my attention to the next group. Or I know that if I get swarmed from 3 sides, I need to boost out, turn around, hit my ultimate, recover, get that resolve meter up, and then go again. It has a flow, it has a feel, and when you get comfortable with it, if your ship is properly outfitted, you'll be able to quickly kind of get over the learning curve and knock out the Lunacy at 500 for these things without too much trouble. So that's going to wrap things up. Hopefully it was helpful. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.